This is the 5th year that Waterloo Uncovered has been here on the battlefield in Belgium, and it's been an exciting time over the past 2 weeks because it's been quite different. Up until now we've been very much focused on Hougoumont, which is the farm that was on Wellington's right, way out in that direction to the west. And we've done some amazing work there, and over those years we've built up a very detailed picture of both the Allied defence and French attack on the chateau and the buildings and other related features. But this year we've broadened our horizons, and for one thing we've come here to Mont-Saint-Jean largely through the kindness of Anthony Martin, the owner, who has allowed us to work here. And this is an interesting and important site because it was the location of the main field hospital for No. 1 Corps of the Allied Army. So it is the hospital on the battlefield, really, as far as the Allies are concerned. And to look at a site which concerns itself with the preservation of life rather than the taking of it, the battle for life rather than the battle for death, if you want to put it that way, that was something we really wanted to do. And especially, I suppose, given that members of our veteran cohort have suffered injury during conflict. And it added an extra level of engagement and connection to the past. We started work here outside of the buildings because they're still very active, and we worked in the orchard just outside the courtyard. We started with a geophysical survey that was followed up by a metal detector survey, followed by trial trenching and excavation of the subsurface deposits. And all of those things showed up interesting facets of the archaeology here. And I suppose the first thing that came to light were the results of the metal detector survey, where both French and Allied musket balls were found in some numbers, particularly towards the bottom of the hill of the orchard. And it was clear from that pattern of deposition that we were looking at fighting. That came as a slight surprise because we expected the fighting to be a little distant from the hospital, given that we're about 600 or 700 metres behind the front line here. But quite clearly, the archaeology is telling us that there was fighting, probably between French cavalry and Allied infantry, but also possibly Allied cavalry. And the analysis of that material is already underway. Obviously, we're not going to finish that before we go home. So those artefacts will leave Belgium for a while, come to our lab where we'll work on them, and then they will come back home to Belgium. But that was really quite exciting to start off with. If you look at the maps of the battle for this area, there's not really that much happening, but the archaeology is telling us otherwise. So once again, as we found at Hougoumont, the archaeology is filling in the picture. It's telling us stories that the accounts and the histories have not.